Have you ever had an argument with a lover and you just, when he's like being really serious, you start like this and you both start cracking up? Has it happened? Has it happened? You just start moving a little bit and he just starts, he's like looking at you and you just, well, it's because, think about this, when you argue and you're trying to be right, say, it doesn't matter, who's right or wrong, two people are masculine, the woman's energy's up here, she's trying to make a point, he's up here trying to make a point, someone's got to break the moment. So whether it's the woman or the man, because the man can slip into that. I do that sometimes. Sometimes it's irritating for him. The thing is that it's like when they're going nowhere, I'm like, what? It's hard to be serious in that moment. But if love is what you desire, arguing and raising your voice and being right will never get you to your heart.
Yeah. Do you think there's any time that you should ever argue? You know what I mean?
I don't know if there's a.
If love is the ultimate thing that a couple is trying to strive for, and we're supposed to just love
the thing is
openly.
that there's always going to be challenges. Yeah. There'll be challenges, but the thing is that it's one thing to dwell on that a long time and there not be any resolution. You understand? It's another thing where there's a moment and then you grow from that. Yeah. I think that's a difference, and there's no power struggles. Yeah. Because, for example, my parents will get into it, but there's a quick surrender, and they've been together for 50 years. Wow. So it's not like they never fight. In fact, people say, my parents never argue. They've been together for 30 years or 40 years. And my thoughts, I'm thinking, then maybe one of those people don't belong. Because I think that we grow from that. We don't know, we don't see how we are. Right. But our partners usually do. Right. If he's speaking from his heart or her heart. So it's not about not having an argument. It's if a couple has the agreement that they're going to connect to the heart and that I love you, and that the reason why I'm saying this is because I love you, it's different. You might have some resistance because you're hearing the truth. But in time, when you realize that your partner knows you better than yourself, you don't argue because you're thinking, yeah, I messed up. Mm-hmm. Or, just come here, let me hug you. We're in a masculine-driven culture. And a lot of men have become feminized too. So women are, better hunters. Women, they don't really need a man for anything. I mean, you don't have to really depend on a man for anything. I mean, you can do anything you want right now. And so a lot of men have stepped back, and so in addition to being a masculine culture, women are learning that sometimes it feels like they're more in control to be independent and take care of things on their own. And they don't want to appear to be helpless, like they say, like the 1950s model. They don't want to appear to be submissive. But what has happened is that they haven't learned that they feel their best when they still receive. They still feel their best when they're maybe connected to their femininity. They still feel their best when they're able to connect to the true essence. And so do men. So it's about really, really honoring our true essence and learn how to get into that and being able to fluctuate in relationships and in life. Because, for example, this whole thing is about how do you do all this stuff as a woman. How do you become independent and do your things and productive and all that, but also be able to connect to your body. And like this example, when you're at work, I mean, just imagine you're taking a phone call and you have the phone here, wherever you have it on, and you're tightened up. You're like talking and you're sharing. Nothing is that important for you to tense your body up. Do you understand? If you start doing little exercises, there's some stuff here that I'm going to share here, but also if I can get this into your psyche, that you realize you'll start becoming more aware of your body. And that's a short period of time working with you. But you will be connected to yourself at all times. You could be at work and be doing this, and no one even knows it. I'm on that cubicle, I do my work, I'm still sexy. You know what I mean? It's still, what happened when you started taking it so seriously? Think about this for a moment. And I know we've changed as a culture, but if you notice that 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was mostly guys who were really that seriously. They were that serious. Do you agree? Okay. Have you noticed that women become that way now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying all, but I mean, there were some women that way, but they were like more mavericks. I mean, today, women are really stressed out. So, again, it's our culture and it's changed and so forth. So I want to actually talk about the brain a little bit more, and I actually want to do an exercise where we'll all pair up here. So it's very important for you to be aware of your brain and you nourish it. And I brought up a little bit more of how you can develop compassion fatigue. And that is, think about this for a moment. How hard is it for you to fire someone? How hard is it for you to tell someone the truth that maybe you don't want to be his or her friend? How hard is it for women to end their relationship with someone you really care about because he's having challenges and it's really, there's nothing you can do. Say he's a drug addict, whatever. How often have you been in positions where you know what the right thing is to do, but you feel sorry for the other person? Okay? So that is your brain, that is your biology, that is how we've come to survive as, humans. Because it were the men who would say, just throw him off the side of the cliff, or, he's too small, kill him, whatever. It was the women who kept the tribes together. It was the women who were able to connect to the children, the sick, the elderly with their intuition. People who are nonverbal. I mean, for example, if you are mothers here, that you can see if there's something off with your child. And if you ask a man about the child, he's like, it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
Because he has to see actual symptoms. If the child's not coughing or has a runny nose, he thinks the child is fine. But the mother can tell intuitively. So with that, when you're at work, when you have a lot of responsibilities, you connect to all your coworkers on the same level as you would as children. That is why work can be more stressful if it's an emotional experience for you. It's a lot different for men. Men can actually do it and kind of go home, have a beer, and forget about it. We're able to compartmentalize that, but we don't have necessarily an emotional experience at work the same as females do. Have you had this experience where you ask a man about his job, how his day was? He's like, it was work.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really want to get into it. But whereas for you, and again, I might be making generalizations. Some of you might not be this way, so I'm not pigeonholing anyone. But for you, you might think of all the experiences that you've had, like how it meant something to you. So imagine this now. Now you are working. You still have a female brain. You care for everyone. Work becomes a big part of who you are. And if your work is stressful, then you're stressed out too. Women are living shorter now. You know that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Well, I knew about the heart attacks.
Yeah. So women have a lot of challenges now because of all of this, and it's because of the brain. The brain needs to be nourished. So one way to kind of figure out how to change things at your work and also understand yourself better is to understand maybe where you are when you are working. In other words, if you are in survival mode, if you're doing this to be validated, if you're doing this because it gives you some sense of self, if you're doing it for all the reasons that create stress, then there's absolutely no way that you can truly energetically in your body enjoy it. Whereas you might think, well, I'm kind of passionate about it because maybe your productivity is high, you get a promotion, it's the outcome. But in your body, it's still stressed out. You understand what I mean?
If you were being offered some free tools that could get you unstuck, would you be interested? If so, visit raydoctor.com and receive your free transformational exercises. Imagine starting each day feeling deeper love, a clearer mind, and being able to say to yourself, I really feel good. My clients love these and so will you. Get them now for free at raydoctor.com.